He seized Neville's hand. No greeting, no smile, just words that froze him. Neville, you're 6 months late. Neville blinks. He doesn't even know this man, but the man knows him, knows his soul. His name is Abdullah, and he whispers the impossible. You and I were in China, thousands of years ago. You promised to forget, so you could play your part now. Neville replied firmly. No, I only know Neville. I've never played any other part. I've never even been to China. Abdullah didn't flinch. This forgetfulness is what you promised, so you could play the role meant for you now. Neville was stunned. The words rang like a verdict. He couldn't answer, only stare. From that day, Abdullah became his teacher. Not with books, not with doctrine, but with presence. A gaze that said, "We've done this before." Years later, Neville is lecturing in New York. A woman in the audience watches him closely. And then something strange happens. To her eyes, Neville doesn't look like Neville anymore. In her vision, his face has changed. She swears she sees an ancient Chinese philosopher standing at the podium. After the lecture, she writes to Neville.
Neville, as I looked at you on the platform, I could only see an ancient Chinese philosopher. Your face never changed back for the entire lecture. 7 years ago, I had a vision. I was guided by an ancient Chinese man in white. And last Monday night, as I watched you, I realized that was the same face. That was the face you wore.
Neville himself confesses another memory. Not China, not Barbados, but a life of impossible wealth.
I did not have one home, but many, each fully staffed from secretaries to gardeners. That was a life of sheer decadence. One day I walked out of it deliberately and did not return.
Years later, in spirit he returned. The homes, the faces all still waiting.
I walked back into the world and saw it just as it was before. Everyone recognized me, welcomed me with open arms.
But Neville didn't stay, because this life was about forgetting. So what does "we were in China" really mean? It wasn't about past lives. It was about roles. Abdullah's point was simple. To play the part of Neville, he had to forget every other mask he'd worn. That forgetfulness wasn't failure, it was the price of living this role fully. And Neville's takeaway was never about who you were before. It was about who you dare to become now. As Neville said,
The story of Jesus is a perpetual, persistent assumption in whatever you want to be.
Your imagination is Christ. Christ is the power and wisdom of God. Persist in your assumption, and it will harden into fact.
That's the secret. Not to remember past lives, but to remember your power now. If you hesitate, you'll keep showing up late to the life you want. So don't ask, who was I before? Ask, who am I willing to become right now? Write it in the comments. Claim it. If Neville was right, you've lived 1,000 lives. But the only one that matters is the one you imagine into being tonight. And if you don't want to arrive late again, hit subscribe, because in the next video, we'll uncover another hidden story from Neville and Abdullah, one most people have never heard.